Hello, this is Rick Gray. I just wanted to take a minute and talk about a book I just finished reading recently called The Anatomy of Peace. And it's really good. It talks a lot about coming from a heart at peace or coming from a heart at war. And really, it's interesting. A lot of people in life, especially if you go on the internet much, you see people coming from a heart at war. People who have that disposition are looking at others as objects and not as real people. Look at the comments a lot of times at the bottom of blogs, or go to YouTube, watch some videos, and look at the comments below. People are not seeing each other as other real people with feelings, with families, and their hearts are not coming from peace. They're coming from war. And think about it in your car, driving down the freeway, right? Do you see other vehicles as objects to be beat, to be, it's a competition, you have to outperform them, get in front of them, or do you see them as actual people with lives and responsibilities and feelings? And the book talks a lot about that. And I had personally an experience recently where this happened. My wife and I bought a home for ourselves, and the transaction was frustrating in some ways because of the other party on the other side of the transaction was very non-communicative. Yeah, that's usually the most common source of frustration is lack of communication. It's days or weeks and many, many voicemails and many, many messages before they'll respond. So I finally, at the end of the deal, the transaction finally closed. I bit my tongue until then I wrote this long email saying, you know what, here's all the things we did. We gave, and I give example after example of things we bent over backwards to make this transaction work, and here's how difficult you were, and I'm very frustrated by that. Well, I did not send the email. That's another good lesson. When you write something out and get it off your chest, don't just instantly send it. Keep it for a while and think about it. So I read it later that day, and I thought, I'm not going to send this email. I understand all the things that happened, but I'm coming from a heart at war. And I need to maybe understand the other person's circumstances as well. So I actually called the person who he never answers his phone. I mean, literally in 3 months of dealing with this transaction, I've never actually spoken to him the first try. It's always 5 or 6 tries at least. Well, he answered his phone, believe it or not. We had a nice conversation. He came over to the house. We actually talked about quite a few things. And I really, throughout the process, changed my perspective of him and realized that, he probably doesn't get treated very well in life. A lot of people don't treat him very well. And certainly he brings some of that on himself by being, not a very good communicator. But I'm sure that his life is somewhat frustrating. I'm sure there's days where he has really miserable times, and that here I'm going to be another one that treats him poorly. No, I don't want to do that. So I treated him really well, and he likes me because I'm one of the few people I think that actually treats him really well and listens to him. We had a really nice conversation, and it really illustrated a personal example of what the book talks about, the anatomy of peace. Instead of being justified, because I am justified, right? I'm right. Here's what happened. This is what this person did to me, and I'm justified. We all have that story. What is the other person thinking, though? What's going on in their life? And maybe we need to think about that. So it was a really good lesson for me. I recommend you read the book, The Anatomy of Peace, and apply it to your life. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon.